A very good morning to you, Mr. Lukele. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newslink. So, SADC, of course, being accused of not doing what it's supposed to be, what they would have hoped that it would do in its fact-finding mission to Eswatini. What exactly was expected of them, and what have they done, actually?
Well, good morning to you, Natal, and to the viewers at home. What one can say is that SADC has just proven us correct all along, not just us, but the people of the region as a whole, that this is a group of friends, or let me just say billionaires, that their interest or it's just to protect one another. They have no interest whatsoever for an ordinary person in the region. We say this because we have first-hand information for the first time in the history of Swaziland. They first colluded with the Swazi government in even going to an extent of selecting organization or civil society organization, including political parties that will attend. Some of these political organizations that were invited, for instance, there is one that is a month old, led by one person that we don't even know where did he go to a conference and where he was elected and who is his deputy. But he was invited by this SADC team. The Prima Liberation Movement, which is Pudemo, formed in 1983, which has been leading this struggle is calling for democratization, together with the Communist Party of Swaziland, were left out, and other organizations that are highly respected and progressive within the civil society. Now, when these guys were asked these questions, they couldn't give us a clear answer. So it is clear now that whatever report that they give to the SADC head of state next week, as they will be meeting in Malawi, it is rejected by the people of Swaziland overwhelmingly. And the people of Swaziland are saying a new process has to start afresh altogether, so as to give a credible report. And in this time around, whichever team that comes in, the people of Swaziland are now requesting that the European Union, the African Union, and other multinational organizations be the ones that conduct this thing. SADC rather take a particular observatory for space because they have failed dismally.
Now, Mr. Lukele, if there has been no intervention in Swaziland right now, no, what would I call it, proactive intervention from the likes of the European Union, the UN, the AU, what would make Swaziland, people of Eswatini, believe or think that there would be anything that they can do if called upon to assist now? Because they haven't come of their own accord to help the people of Eswatini, so why would they do anything to change things for them now?
Well, their statement condemning this violence, they did not mince their words. They condemn it clearly, especially the United Nations, the European Union, the United States of America. They were very, very clear. They did not beat around the bush to say we call for all parties to calm down and cease fire, because the fire was coming one way, and that way was a militia masquerading as the Swazi army, instructed by the king. One thing that will even shock many viewers is that just when the SADC team were in Swaziland last week, two innocent Swazis, yesterday and today, they are being buried in one small town, Lomahasha, towards the Mozambican border with Swaziland, were shot dead, cold-blooded by a police office, instructed by the very same king, which now has increased the numbers of the killed to almost above 75 now. So if the Swazi government or King Mswati will do such a thing in their presence and still they don't see anything wrong with it, it is clear that there are some kind of like a group that is no longer neutral when it comes to the question of Swaziland. But at the same time, we also call for South Africa, as they will be taking over the chairpersonship of Turkey, to show some leadership and start afresh the process altogether, so as to save the leak that is left of credibility, if there is, of this organization. But at the same time, this organization that we are talking about, they are far better informed than SADC, yet SADC is right here on the doorstep. And you have United Nations, you have also Americans who can speak with authority on the question and what exactly is happening on the ground. Maybe it is because the Americans themselves were a victim of the very same violence of the Swazi army.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Lukele, we'll unfortunately have to leave it there for now. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newslink. That is Lucky Lukele, of course, of the Swaziland Solidarity Network.